Dateline June 24th in Columbia, South Carolina. A great day at the South Carolina Supreme Court. BREDL's attorneys were steadfast in the fight against Dominion Energy's proposed riverneck to Kingsburg gas pipeline in Florence County. In fact, one of our attorneys, Stephen Spitz, is a law professor and taught one of the Supreme Court justices.
Spitz, before you begin, welcome. We're all delighted to have you.
It is a great pleasure.
I'd simply like to point out that we're only about 6 weeks shy of 40 years ago when you selected me out of the entire property class to stand in front of the class and argue before you. And now, I bet you didn't think about the fact that 40 years later you'd be standing arguing in front of me and your other students up here. But we are thrilled to have you, sir. It's an honor.
It is a pleasure to be in this city and in this courtroom.
The conservative court could take up to a year to make their final decision. Regardless of the outcome, BREDL is on the right side of justice. This is a pipeline that is unnecessary and dangerous for the Pamplico community, already riddled with health problems, poverty, and pollution from nearby plants. Dominion Energy is a private company that has been operating with impunity in South Carolina with no oversight from government agencies who do not require water testing. The lack of testing was one of the main points that BREDL attorneys argued before South Carolina's highest court.
The Department of Environmental Services didn't get it right. I mean, I really, really believe they did not get it right. Whatever else you do in this world, and I'm reading from page 5 of the record and the final order. The department did not conduct its own evaluation of the need for natural gas. Let me tell you, if you give people the authority to go look to make sure that the waters of this state are proper, swimmable, drinkable, if the waters of this state mean anything, then the department's, and this is the lower court that no one disputes, the department did not conduct its own evaluation of the need for natural gas. Well, who did? Who made this decision if it wasn't the department? It's the other person sitting right over here. The rest of the sentence explains it. But rather relied on Dominion's assertion and analysis. Look, that's wrong. It's as wrong as can be to turn the waters of this state over to Dominion. They have a vested interest. They are totally prejudiced. They are not the person to do this. The department should do its own evaluation. This sentence on page 5 of this record by the lower court, in the lower court order, should tell you, let's do something about this. I don't care about this mootness stuff. Let's do something about this. Come on. This is the waters of the state of South Carolina. I really feel very strongly that this court should look very hard at that issue. There's only two that I'm going to talk about, and that's one. Here's the second one. Turn to page 9. This is Dominion. This is, in terms of monitoring, Mr. Schreier did not know of any baseline well testing Dominion conducted. I stop there. Test to see that the water can be drunk, that it's safe, that it's proper. We're talking about the waters of the state of South Carolina.
The hearing inside was somewhat tense. People were in anticipation of an outcome. We are very concerned about environmental justice, the water quality, how it would be impacted by this project. All over the country, there are concerns about environmental justice, the water, the soil, the air, and the impacts of pipelines and the damages that they can cause.
Bottom line is, they don't even know themselves how much danger it is when it comes down to having that run through a community, and the community needs to be more involved with knowing that it's coming through your yard now, so you can get out there and do what you want to, plant your plants if you want to, but it's going to interfere with your plants. If it starts leaking that gas, it's going to cause some damage.
The decision made in this courtroom could have far-reaching implications. Dominion Energy is a private company operating throughout the Southeast, and it seems to operate with impunity, doing as they please. It's a company with a history of infractions, from a lack of maintenance on their pipelines to gas explosions and water contamination. The decision made in this courtroom at the South Carolina Supreme Court should say, no, not anymore. Things are going to change. You're going to have oversight on what you do and how it impacts the people of this state.